Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. Our topic today, I'm really looking forward to exploring this topic, is Trust in Action. The role of community in a changing world. I'm sure that this will be at the very heart of many personal relationships and many businesses. I'm a TV presenter. I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. I'm also the resident therapist, and I'm also a TV presenter and host for this show on USA Global TV and Radio. I'm also an expert presenter on Talking Heads. A very warm welcome to our loyal viewers and our friends at E360 TV. And hello to all of our friends on our usual social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. I'm Caroline HEWARD. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show, A Woman's Prerogative. I'm always joined with the amazing, and I do say this, the amazing and insightful Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES. She comes all the way from Canada, and she always has a really insightful and flavoursome exploration to our topics and conversations. Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES, she is a TV presenter, and she's just about to host her own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio in French. She is an author, bilingual self-help author. She's a registered nurse and a holistic nurse. She's an intuitive and a spiritual healer. She invented Miracle Mist, which is patent pending. She's an advocate for peace and for peaceful free rights. Please welcome Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES.
Thank you for having me.
Hello. A warm welcome, Reverend. Please do share with us.
It's so nice to be here.
Well, it's always wonderful to have you here because we always have insightful and interesting explorations, and I'm sure that this show will be no different. Please do, for our viewers, especially the ones that don't know you, please do introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do and how you bring value to your clients.
Well, what I do is that I actually help immigrants that come to Canada. I do help them adjust to Canada, because Canada is not a country that is like others. We actually are the so-called polite country, and we really want to stay that way. So we help people adjust to our ways. And it is quite difficult for some people to adjust to when they come from war zones. It is difficult to adjust because they are used to survive. I help also people that have problems with their health, because problems with health come from traumas. And I do help with that. Since I'm a holistic nurse, I have a degree in holistic nursing. I do also see people on Zoom meetings, And I do programs that start from the basic, are from my books, 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey. So I do programs from the reflections to help people heal from their past and what they are living or going through. That is what I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And for myself, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally when there's an imbalance. And the imbalance is the symptom. So if you're walking around or you know somebody that's saying, I'm not stressed, but they land up telling you that they're not sleeping, they have a relationship issue or an intimacy issue, or they have a grieving issue, or they have a physical ache and pain, or they're suffering with depression or anxiety, that will be how the stress is manifesting in their life. And I help the person break through the root cause. That's when it initially became part of their blueprint, which releases the emotion, and then they will feel incredibly relaxed and get an incredible night's sleep. I also do lunch and learn talks online as well as in person at events, which are educational and also therapeutic. And I'm also, as I mentioned earlier on, a TV expert presenter on Talking Heads, which I have a show once a month, which is on the last Thursday of the month. And the last show was Thursday that's just gone. So now into our topic, Reverend Lydia. So trust in action, the role of community in a changing world. When you think about that, when you think about the role of the changing world, it makes me think about the idea of trust becoming more relevant as our world has changed into a digital environment. It affects our homes, our workplaces. It also goes right across global networks. It is important and paramount to have trusted communities. They're the threads that hold our world together. And today we're going to explore what it truly means to build trust, and what we do and how we nurture it, and what happens when it breaks, and how communities of all kinds can become more powerful from a space of belonging, how it creates resilience and shared purpose. Reverend Lydia, what does being in a trusted network mean to you?
Being in a trusted network to me means you can rely, and they can rely on you when you are in a network. You share what you know, and they do the same. You actually have knowledge, and they have knowledge, and you help them, and they help you. That is what you do. When the ones in the network face challenges, you help them out. You promote them also. When there is a network, you promote them. It doesn't cost a dime to promote those that are doing something else other than you, and it also does not cost a dime to promote those that do the same thing as you, because everyone works differently. So, like you and I, we pretty much do a lot of things in common, but we are different. We work differently. So I promote you all the time. I always say how good you are. So that is the way networking works. It's you have to trust one another, and you have to be good to one another, because that is the world nowadays. You have to have a good network to actually be able to move forward, because you have to be positive about what is going on. That is the most important thing. If you have no trust and you try to do things, well, you're not going to have any success. You have to trust to succeed. That is the way it is. You have to trust. Sometimes things happen, but you have to start by trusting.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And a really soulful, interesting comment that you've made there about you have to trust. It's imperative. The trusted network is built on trust. And this is one of the things that I found about being part of communities. I've always been part of some kind of community, whether it be a church community or a youth club community or a community in school, and then lots of other business type communities. For me, I've always found some level of support. I've always wanted to be part of a community. And from the age of 5, I've been part of different communities as I've grown up. So that's at 56 years I've been part of communities. And USA Global TV and Radio is a family, a community. The Peace Federation that I belong to is also a community. So I find a sense of belonging. So for me personally, being part of a trusted community is where I feel that I can be myself, and I can trust whoever's around me to hold each other up and also hold each other accountable. And from my perspective, being part of a community, trust is evidential. It's almost part of the ethos and part of the structure of being part of a community. And that's probably why I've been always part of different groups and memberships and communities, because it means so much to me to be part of that trusted network. So thank you very much for bringing out the element of trust, because that is why communities and how communities work. They're built on a place, and they're built on a pivotal response of a trusted network. Have you ever experienced, Reverend Lydia, truly being held by your community, whatever community that you've been in?
I was in the Anglican community. I still am, by the way. I have been in the Catholic community also, because I was born in a Catholic family. But I decided to embrace the Anglican faith. I also have been in just several guilds. I was in the Scouts. I was in the Brownies. I was in, name them all. I have been in everything, and I've always been in communities. And the place where I live is a very close-knitted community. It's a Polish and Greek, and I love it. I actually love it. Everyone is friendly, and everyone loves everyone, and they help one another. So I actually love the way communities work and doing charity work. I did charity work all my life. I always thought that charity work was the way to be. And I don't understand people that do not do any volunteer work, because volunteer work is so gratifying. And what I always say about volunteer work, when I see someone saying something about a volunteer that they say, they can't do it right or whatever, I always say, a volunteer is someone that is not hired and has no training for the job, and they're not paid. So please be good to them. That is a volunteer. They're there because they love being there. That is all. So we have to be grateful for all the volunteers of the entire world.
You bring up a really interesting point about volunteer, because I feel that in communities I've been a member of, they have a natural process of hierarchy of people that have more time to do things, going naturally into those managerial type roles where they take on a responsibility to do something. And when they take on that responsibility, they are then there to serve. I also, in the spiritual communities, we call it in server. And that server is essentially saying, in service. And when you're in service to the community, it gives you what we might consider as brownie points, because I also was a brownie for a short time, and it will give us standing and credibility, and it also raises our profile within the organisation, whether it be in a volunteer position or part of the membership. But when we volunteer for something, it raises our profile to others who may actually come to us for services that we do, that we may be charging for. What are your thoughts about that in terms of the fact that being in service to others provides that higher level of profile that you may not have got if you weren't in service?
Well, I do think that it's a good thing for us. It's a very good thing for us because it keeps our ego down. Actually, we cannot have any ego if we're serving. When we are actually serving and we were serving with our heart, we have no ego. We cannot have any place for ego. And when people ask us to help them with our gifts, because we are gifted, when people ask us to help them with our gifts, well, we do it with our heart. We're not charging. We do it, with our heart, because usually those that need help are other volunteers. So what do? We help other volunteers by helping them, by volunteering our gifts to them. That is the way we help our community also. That is the way we do it. So we do not only volunteer our time, we volunteer our knowledge. That is the way I see it. So we have to share all that we own, our knowledge, our time, and our love.
You bring an important point to that knowledge. I've been certainly helped by a lot of people who have knowledge from a technical space where I've never felt my technical ability has been that great. And yet, with the careful mentoring and guidance from Dr. Jacqueline on this particular platform, on USA Global TV and Radio, and bearing in mind I've been around for almost 4 years now, I'm now in a position where I feel a lot more technically able than where I was before. And I pass that on. I'm always surprised at how I can pass on, you just do this, you just do that, because when something becomes familiar, we have to learn it first. We don't know everything, and what we don't know, we don't know. And then when we learn something because somebody has stepped out to give us the time and the space to mentor us in a new skill, in a new area, then that not only brings up them and the credibility of the team, it also brings up everybody else as well. It brings up the person and where they share it. And, so knowledge is so important because we become an expert by sharing our knowledge. That's how we gain the title of expert, where we share what we have. And I always like to pass on, if I learn something, I like to pass it on so other people get the benefit of what I've learned, because I don't know everything and nobody knows everything, and we all learn. And with that, I can't believe it, we are at the point of the commercial break. So when we come back, we will explore more of how being in a trusted community, trust in action, the role of community in a changing world. Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia, for all of your insightful contributions. Let's go over to our short break. Please come back, and we look forward to seeing you after the short break.
From the magical world of the amazing adventures of Lady Ella comes a heartwarming new journey filled with kindness, courage, and compassion. Lady Ella, the beloved ladybug and listening mentor, is back, and this time she is not alone. Meet her brave and thoughtful brother, Lord Jack. Together, they take flight on their very first kindness adventure. Along the way, they meet 3 new friends in need: a duck feeling discouraged, a mouse struggling to be understood, and a busy little bee who's completely lost. But with the power of elevated listening and simple acts of kindness, Lady Ella and Lord Jack show us how understanding and empathy can make the biggest difference in someone's day. Written by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor. This 9th book in the best-selling Lady Ella series teaches children ages 5 to 10 the essential skills of listening, kindness, and etiquette. Now available for pre-order on Amazon. Scan the QR code and order your copy today.
Welcome back to A Woman's Prerogative in partnership with E360 TV. We have been exploring trust in action, the role of community in a changing world. We've been exploring this with our wonderful full-time panelist, Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES. Let's bring her back and get straight back into the topic. If you are joining us here on the live or the replay, welcome back. Reverend LYDIA, didn't that go quickly? I want to just dig a little bit further in terms of today's world is highly digital. I am doing a lot of my networking online now and not actually going out to physical events anymore. When I was living in London, I was always out and about. But since our world changed, I've been doing a lot online. So where do you personally go to find trusted connections? Where would you personally look?
Well, actually, before trusting, I actually talk to others. That is what I do. I actually go by referral. Referral for me is very, very important because anyone can be behind that screen. I had a husband that used to say the mistake is always in front of the screen, not in the screen. so, so I actually, believe very much in what he was telling me. And I always make sure that I am not doing a mistake by actually trusting someone that would be harmful for my environment or those around me. So I make sure that someone else that I trust knows that person. I do not go random around the internet and try to know people just like this. I go by referral, and I am very careful. I'm very, very careful. That is the way I work.
Thank you, Reverend LYDIA, and some wise words there. It's true, you don't know who's behind the screen. Somebody can be having a really big profile, and yet when you go underneath that and you get to know them, they're not as big or as grand as what they're sounding like in terms of their profile online. And you might be thinking or forgiven that it's a huge conglomerate company behind them, and yet they might just be in the bedroom. And that doesn't mean to say that they're not great. What it does mean is that you're dealing with that person as an individual. And from my perspective, I would absolutely agree with you. Referral is a wise way to work in trusted communities. And when you join a community, and I've joined a few communities, this being one of them, when somebody is put forward as part of the community, it's because there's some trust behind that. And so I would naturally then seek to do business with that person because there is a form or a level of trust in being in a community. And if somebody doesn't perform well in the community or betrays you within the community, it's very quick for people to be knowledgeable about that break of trust, that betrayal within the community, so others are warned. And that's one of the things that I do quite like about being in a community, that at least being in that trusted community, that you would be protected on some level of anybody that betrays a trust. So what are your thoughts about the fact that being in that community, whichever community you're in, that there becomes, if there is a betrayal, that's known and that's shared so that other people don't get hurt.
Well, that is the advantages of having a community. We protect one another. We are good to one another. And usually, as they say, birds of same feathers flock together. So good people share the community with good people. Sometimes there is a person that is not that wonderful. So the thing is that sometimes it happens that one person or two, three people in a community just, are difficult in the community, but they are pushed aside. It does not take much to push them aside. So they take the door easily because they know they are the problem. So it is easy for a community to push aside those that are not good for the community when they are not good for the community, because the thing is that a community is to be safe, actually. So if we want to be safe, we have to protect one another. And that is the way we have to do it. We have to stay polite, that is for sure, but we have to protect one another and look after one another. So we have to be respectful, but actually we have to show the door to the ones that are not respectful to the community. That is the way I see it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. Some extremely wise words there. My thoughts when you said birds of a feather flock together really made me smile, because that's what you find, that same similar interests or same similar thoughts and values tend to flock together. And I certainly have found that I've connected really well with people that have had a church background, because there's some similar values, even though I've not gone to church with them, that was in my childhood, that there's some similar values that run through people that have had some kind of religious background or spiritual background. So my thoughts just going forward on, if trust is broken, do you think that trust can be repaired once it's broken? And I'm looking at now personal circles, so family, siblings, parents, the extended family. What are your thoughts on if it's been broken in your personal circles or friendships even? Can it be rebuilt?
Yes, it can be rebuilt. It is difficult, but it can be rebuilt. The person that broke your trust actually has to work a lot to gain your trust again, because once it is broken, there is a lot of work ahead, because trust is something, it's like a first impression. You see, you never can make a second time a first impression. It is the same thing for trust. You can never make trust the second time so easy, because when you actually have hurt someone, the thing is that they are hurt, and they always think that behind their mind, they will think, what if? There's always this what if. So they are very critical of what you could do to them if they broke your trust. So you have to be very careful with those that broke your trust, but at the same time, you have to look at what really happened. You have to have all the elements. Before judging, we have to have all the elements of the situation, because sometimes someone breaks your trust, but we do not really know why. Because sometimes there was a good reason, they were pushed to do such thing, such action. We have to think twice before actually judging someone that broke our trust. We have to rethink the situation. We have to give a chance. I'm not talking about a couple that, there's unfaithfulness over and over. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about trust between friends for one situation, or with coworkers for one situation, because if trust is broken once, it can be repaired. But if it is broken more than once, well, I would say withdraw. That is what I said.
Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. Some extremely wise words. Yes, do we learn the first time? And the first time it can be excused because we don't know. We absolutely don't know what's going on in their world. And there could be some reasonable explanation. It could be that there's some family stuff going on or something going on within their world, within their business that we're not aware of, that's made them take an action or do something that has broken your trust, or they've been left with a difficult decision which has gone against the community of the family or friendship or social network. So we don't know. And I believe you're absolutely right in it's important to know all of the facts. Why has it happened? Because it might just be that it wasn't intentional. It wasn't a deliberate act of betrayal to break the trust. It was something that they were pushed to do because of the situation they were in. And many people, especially in our current, and I think it's important to say, because it's there globally, our rising living costs in the UK, in America, and in many other places around the world, that will force people to do things that may break a trust or create a betrayal within a trusted community. So looking at professional trust and networks, Reverend Lydia, what role do you think trust plays in building an effective and professional team or network? And I'm looking at, sort of USA Global TV is a global and trusted network. And we've met, and we're right across the pond from each. Well, you're in Canada and I'm in the UK. We're globally apart. We couldn't be more apart, and yet we're developing a trusted network. So, what are your thoughts in terms of how we can build and play the part in building this trusted network of teams and networks?
Well, we have to give it a chance. We always have to give it a chance. And when there's a little problem, we have to overcome it. That is all. We just have to be open to the fact that, sometimes there are things that happen. We have to be open to that. But we have to keep trust going. Trust is so very important, and especially in global TV and radio, we have to be open to trust one another. We actually learn so much from Dr. Jacqueline. She teaches to listen to such a level. We can listen to one another. We can see one another's point of view. So we are very lucky because we have the right teacher. We are at the right place. So we have an advantage over everyone. So that is our chance. We are very, very fortunate because we have Dr. Jacqueline as our mentor. So we can trust one another all over the global network because we have Dr. Jacqueline that teaches us to listen to one another and to work things out. That is the way it is. So we should be happy about it.
Thank you. And I'm smiling and nodding as you're speaking, because as you mentioned earlier on, at the beginning of the show, Reverend Lydia, that we do quite similar things, and yet in different ways. We're healing from a similar place in very different ways. And I've never really felt competition. And I've been quite open in saying that to many people, wherever network I'm in. I never go in feeling I'm competing, because it's a bit like, and I give the analogy of Chinatown. I don't know whether you have a Chinatown in Canada, but
Yes.
you do. We have a Chinatown in the UK, and in London in particular, it is filled. It's a huge place, and has a big archway, and it's very Chinese. And you walk in, and it's door to door. Every window is a different Chinese, and a different chef, and a different specialities. And why is it that there's like sort of say 60 different restaurants, and yet they're thriving in competition? And my analogy to that is that the fact that there's so many, say there's 60 or maybe even 100 in Chinatown, what I feel is birds that flock together, birds of the same, oh, you know what I mean, birds of a feather flock together, that the fact that there's so many of the same and different in the way that they are producing their recipes and different in producing their results, the fact that there is so many brings the crowd, it brings the people to go to that destination. It becomes a destination. And my feeling there is that if we feel we're in competition, we close down what could be possible if we were more open. And so I really do appreciate you saying birds of a feather flock together, because it is exactly how Chinatown works. It is exactly how the Asian restaurants work that are in, sort of a lot of restaurants in a small area. And that's the restaurants, and they work very hard for small amounts of money. Well, we are at the end of our show. So can you believe it? It's gone very quickly. Birds of a feather. Please do share with our viewers, Reverend Lydia, how people can reach you and the best way to contact you.
Well, people can reach me in Canada on WhatsApp or by text also at 1-514-582-6882. They can also reach me on my email address, that is greatdivinemother@gmail.com, or my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Lydia Guylaine Fougere. It's Guylaine de Fougere. That is on my LinkedIn, naturally. They can actually buy my books on Amazon, Canada.com or England, whatever. They're all over the world. They are now available in French and next month in Spanish. So in 2 to 3 weeks, we will have them in Spanish, then in Chinese, then in Arabic. So
Wow.
That is... So that is the story of the books. So the programs will be in English, and there will be programs in French also, starting from the reflections.
Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. And for me, you can reach me on No More Stress at live.co.uk, or you can reach out and call if you're international +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. Please follow me or connect with me, message me on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can message me to book either a single session or a course of sessions, a program. So please do reach out to me, where I can be of service to you in terms of helping you bust your stress. Thank you very much, everybody. As we close our discussion today on trust in action, trust isn't static. Trust is something that we create, we protect, and we pass on. Whether it's courage to be vulnerable, in our personal relationships, a commitment to integrity in our professional lives, and a willingness to listen. Yes, listen across cultural and global divides. Trusted communities build interactions at one step at a time, one interaction after another. We are in a world of change, and trust is the one thing we can truly move us into a place of grounding us. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. May we each find and help to build trust in our trusted communities so we change the world so deeply needs. It is my pleasure to be part of this channel. Our founder and president and chief listening officer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the executive producer who's been producing all the whizzy effects in the background of this show of USA Global TV and Radio, was awarded the coveted YouTube Silver Creator Award with over 100,000 subscribers. This has become now 103,000 subscribers on the first YouTube channel, and there is over 3,500 I think I've got that right, subscribers on the second YouTube channel. Sorry, it's 35,000 subscribers, my apologies. We have 2 LinkedIn channels, 6 Facebook channels, 2 Instagram channels. We are across TikTok, X, and Amazon Fire. We are distributed by E360 TV, Sizzle TV, where we are also on Roku, Apple, and around 50 plus channels. Please do subscribe to USA Global TV and Radio and be part of our mission to create world education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Whether you're on the live or the replay, we look forward to seeing you next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 7 p.m. British Summer Time. Bye-bye for now, and over to our sponsors. And a massive thank you to Dr. Jacqueline for everything that she brings and is creating on this amazing platform. It's wonderful to be part of this incredible team, community, and family. Bye-bye for now.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCramPerkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Conveniently located in the Cherry Hill Mall in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Avio Art specializes in custom art and photography printing. From museum-quality canvas prints and stretching to photo restoration, fine art reproduction, and framing with museum-grade glass, every service is completed in-house with exceptional attention to detail. Visit avioart.com or email support@avioart.com.
USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award, proudly presents Just the Thing for Your Ring, introducing the patented Ring Thing. Your premium personal ring holder to keep your ring safe, nearby, and avoid loss.
The Ring thing just got smarter. Add your logo and an NFC tag that opens to your website with one tap. Waterproof, inner padding, and now a forever business card.
Just the thing for your ring. Scan the QR code seen here to learn more about RingThing or place your order. Follow RingThing on Instagram at ring_thing_ or go to our website ringthing.com.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
Lady Ella flies up high, spreading kindness through the sky. With Lord Jack right by her side, through the world they glide. They listen close, they understand, helping creatures in the land. With open hearts, they lend a hand. Come along, come and see. Kindness starts with you and me. Listen close, hear the sound. Kindness makes the world go round. Goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga. So spread your wings and soar so high, like Lady Ella in the sky. With Lord Jack we always say, listening and kindness light the way.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by
Lady Ella flies up high, spreading kindness through the sky. With Lord Jack right by her side, through the world they glide. They listen close